About to get it started. All right, here we go. Let me just walk up in here real quick because I forgot to set this up. Only take a minute. I know nobody's watching as of yet, but how's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody enjoyed their turkey. It's beginning of December, first week of December. We about to get it in on a new one. Y'all know how we give it up out here. We got a lot to talk about. Always, Trump keeps me busy. If you're new to the channel, we talk about what's going on in the world, in the United States. We talk about what's happening with our commander in chief, Donald J. Trump. For some reason, my thumbnail's not taking. Wonder what's happening. Okay. I believe Dion just has to come in. About to hit him in 1 second. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out. Give me 1 second, Dion, if you're listening. Something, I got a little bit of a hiccup. Where are you at? Because I know that's you. Well, it's not Dion. Something happened. I'm about to turn everything down. You see if this video, if this will to upload. Why won't you upload my thumbnail? There we go. And keep on trucking. Got that done. Let's save it. Let me share the link with a couple of people. And then I'm going to dive in because, that's how we do. I forgot to remind this guy. He better remember. All right. Go to my YouTube studio so I can find this link real quick. Make sure it's the right one. No. What is happening? Welcome, Dion. I might have made a mistake here.
What mistake is that?
I don't know if we're in the right place. I'm not seeing the video pop up.
You put this out early, brother. I thought you was like really doing a lot of behind the scenes work today.
No, I always send it to you on YouTube, on Facebook, and then send it to you in Messenger afterwards. You just haven't been on Facebook, so you haven't noticed. I always send it to you at that time. But I know you wasn't there. It's just a way for me to find it easy on my phone because if I have to send it from my computer, I can't message you. If you look back, you'll see that I've always done that. I don't understand why I'm not seeing the video here, though. And that's not a shot at you. Like I said, I know you wasn't on there. It wasn't for you. It's just making so that I could get it to my phone. Because otherwise, I don't see. Do you see us? Oh, okay. Here we are. So it's not showing up on my phone, which is bad because I can't get it to my team. And we need to get started, right? What the heck? Let me close the app and reopen the app. Let me just go to YouTube and do it from YouTube. I don't understand what's happening. Okay, here we go. Which is putting, well, we're live. I'm on time. I just haven't had some stuff going on with this channel that I got to talk to you about that we're not going to talk about on here, but we will be discussing it a little bit. Probably not tonight. Maybe we'll see. We'll get it. But we always got a lot to cover because that's how we do it. How's your evening going?
Okay, went to church today, caught the tail end, got some things kind of somber.
Why is that?
Nah, I have some issues with my mom. It's holiday season, seasonal affective disorder, all this change of light, and some other nuances. I'm involved with Turning Point USA, as you know, and these folks are toxic. And what's going on with the rebranding of Blexit? They're not calling it Blexit anymore. Uh,
Really?
I realized that at 3 o'clock in the morning, I think it was Saturday morning, I realized that wow. I never really cared for her or whatever the case may be, but Candace Owens actually is my hero. You know, I don't know if you want to ever do an episode about that, but I was just like amazed. Like, wait a minute, this person is a black woman, but she's the number one downloaded YouTuber for the month of November in the world. And
I did not know that.
exactly. I was surprised. I was talking to my friend from church today, one of my community leaders, that yo, Black Westchester, because I Googled to show her, oh no, it's Mr. Beast, right? And I was like, okay, cool. They highlighted her, but none of the black mainstream media highlights her. You see what I'm saying? And she's like to Black America, I don't need you. And then the realization I like her is because she's so Christ-centered, but people don't know it, the way she talks and behaves, right? But the reason she got here is for having a falling out with the Jews because of what's going on in Israel. So she got fired from the Daily Wire because she kept posting Christ is King, just to stick it to the Jews. You know what I mean? And it was amazing. And she put a cross behind her in her, her shot and stuff like that. I mean, she's fucking in a one woman war against Israel, a one woman war against France, a one woman war against Australia, these governments and systems. It's like, yo, you got to give this person props for tenacity. You know what I mean? And it's like she broke the black identity politic that keeps us here, if you know what I mean. Like Oprah, Michelle Obama, everybody else just douche. But she has so much support now from different realms of Black America and some other stuff that it's like she's like me. It's like, yo, you can call me Uncle Tom all you want, but I'm still gonna be driven. It's still not gonna hold me back. I'm gonna be seen as me, and that's it. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, I guess she's amazing, Candace Owens. And what she's doing now with this Charlie Kirk stuff and Turning Point is like, yo, I'm gonna take on the world. You want to kill me? Come kill me.
Probably not the best idea, but I can see why you like Candace Owens. Now I can
Huh?
see why you like Candace Owens. She broke her mold and then she branched off and she's doing what she do now. She's an intelligent woman.
Yeah, but she's beyond black, if that makes sense. In the sense that she's not
Right.
here.
Because,
She's not in that fucking black woman, black this, black that.
wow, that's the second F
And,
bomb.
and no, she actually cursed too one time, but I'm sorry about that, Leo. We're not recording. I'm just saying it's like she's not
No, we're
stuck where she.
live.
We all live? Because I didn't get the notification. Let me check. And I could have swore. Oh yeah, we are live. Because I was
Yes,
checking some
I'm
other
very
data
well
on the
aware.
back end for the show. Wow, I'm sorry about that, brother. Because I was checking some other data on the back end of the show, the previous episode. It is see it. Okay. Yeah, yeah, we're side by side. We're live. But you said you were having problems, so I wasn't sure what was going on. Bye bye. All
Because I
right.
wasn't able to see the fact that we were live, but we're live.
I didn't know
So,
that either. I didn't know that. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. Freeze. Okay, we're back.
alrighty then. Well, welcome to the think tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. Today, we're here to talk about quite a bit because Donald Trump likes to keep us busy, doesn't he? Where to begin? Well, I want to ask you, Dion, does MAGA have Biden derangement syndrome?
Um, Not really. They don't blame Joe Biden for all their life's problems or deflect as much to him as you would think because the media itself,
What?
you asked me a question.
I'm just, my mind is boggled at the thing you said as a response. You just said they do not deflect to him for all of their life problems, just the financial ones.
Well, think about it. They have two people to beat up on, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Now you could
They
argue
don't
maybe
talk about Kamala
they don't talk
Harris.
about Kamala Harris.
No, they do
Okay, well
not.
then that goes to show that you would think it would be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was running against Trump, but they do deflect
No, they
to
always say it was the last administration. This is Biden's. This is
exactly. They don't use
Biden's.
Biden's name, the last administration. That's what all presidents do.
No, they don't all say this is Biden's economy. No, they do not. They don't a year later still try to blame the previous administration for the economy. As a matter of fact, at this
They all
time,
do it.
As a matter of fact, at this time under Biden's economy, if I do remember correctly, we were recovering from COVID and we wasn't getting ready to go in debt. Let me see. Biden's economy last year, as he was leaving out as his last year, our debt was like what, $38 billion for the months of January and February. And this year it's already at over 100. No, I don't think that they try and blame their predecessor for things that they absolutely caused with idiotic policies such as tariffs. But maybe that's just my way of thinking.
Well, traditionally in politics, the incumbent president normally blames their predecessor on everyday's life's problems and takes credit for immediate positive results. So, but yes, the names that Donald Trump mentions and some others are a combination, interchangeable of Biden and Harris. Now, that Biden syndrome, I don't think so. Now, Trump derangement goes beyond the politicians and the media. You have to always put the fourth branch of government, the enemy of the state, the media, when you talk about this derangement syndrome, because it has to consistently be in the media as well. You see, you may be right. You know what? I'm gonna give you credit, Radio. You may be right. Let's say
Oh,
the
I know.
Republicans, maybe the Republicans do have Trump derangement syndrome, but I mean Biden syndrome, excuse me, but the media does not, if that makes sense. Whereas with
Well, the
Trump,
right wing
wait, wait,
does.
wait, whoa,
Fox.
hold it. Whereas Trump derangement is both the Democrat politicians and the mainstream media. So there
So
you
you
have it.
right when you say this, you have to throw the disclaimer that you don't consider Fox the propaganda network for the right wing mainstream media because they're the propaganda network for the mainstream. So when you take Fox out, no, they don't. But if you look at the right wing, they do the same thing as Trump. This is Biden's economy. Like, yo, what about the tariffs? What about the
But
what was it?
wait a minute, Leo. The right wing media is not trying to rehash and follow up and put Joe Biden in jail and put all the shade on Joe Biden. Now, if you remember when Donald
They're
Trump was in
what?
office,
They're not trying. You wait. I think I heard you wrong.
they don't put it
My
out there
earphones must be
all
messed
day,
up.
every
You said
day.
they're not trying to put Biden in jail.
The right wing media, they're not talking
No, they're
about
just
him
trying to
all day,
erase
every day.
everything. They're just trying to say that the people around him did it because
Right.
everything was
They don't
illegal
point the finger
because
at Biden.
Biden.
They don't point the finger at Biden.
Russia, right?
They point the finger at Karine Jean-Pierre, press secretary, Dr. Jill Biden, Dr. Fauci. Everybody else can get it. But if you remember during the Biden administration with Trump derangement, they blamed Donald Trump. The media blamed Donald Trump exclusively. They went after Donald Trump's kids too, but still, every day this man
I
has
think
to
the
go to
reason
jail.
Donald Trump is getting blamed is because he's the one signing the orders, the illegal orders. You can't even blame Congress if it's an executive order because an executive order does not have to be done by Congress, right? And an executive order, if I do remember my civics right now, I'm not an attorney, but my very rudimentary understanding is that an executive order has to fall within the confines of the Constitution, which he signs executive orders that do not fall within those executive constraints that he's supposed to
But you
do,
see,
supposed to
unfortunately,
abide by.
unfortunately, Trump derangement stems to people just talking about one man. Donald Trump.
One man signs all the bills. So
Whereas
you want me to talk
the
about somebody else?
concept of
Yeah,
Biden derangement is not just one man. If you're painting a broad brush, because they don't just talk about Biden, they talk about Kamala
they do with the
Harris,
economy.
they talk about everything
They do
else.
with the economy.
Well, that's the administration, but Trump derangement stems
No,
from
they say
one
Biden. They
man.
don't say the administration. They say Biden.
Give
Maybe you
us
don't
an
listen to
example.
Fox.
Give us an example.
Biden's economy. What are you talking about? Give you an example.
That's too rudimentary. Give me an example
Whenever something
of
goes wrong,
someone
they say it's Biden.
obsessed with Joe Biden. I give you an example of someone obsessed with Donald Trump, and that's Don Lemon. Don Lemon is so obsessed with Donald Trump when he's not in office and he was on CNN, he would just bring out Donald Trump out of left field. Now, if you take another reporter on CNN to this day that Donald Trump's administration is going on, who actually comes out of left field and say, you know what, it was Joe Biden's fault. Oh, that Joe Biden. No, no. We should follow up on the Joe Biden medical report. Now we have Donald Trump's medical information from Carolina 11. Let's follow up with Joe Biden. No, there is no follow up on Joe Biden's medical report to compare it
What
to.
do we have from
That's the
Caroline
problem.
Levitt? What exactly do we have from Caroline Levitt?
What do we have from Carolina 11?
That's
She put
honest. Like, yo, that we can't look with our own eyes and see is BS because you're about to give me a bunch of BS.
I
I know you
agree.
are because that's what
'Cause
you do.
Leo, you know what? I'm gonna give you that. Let's say, for argument's sake, on this platform, that Cameron Levitt is lying. Now, it is incumbent upon who? The Trump deranged media, mainstream, to bring out Karine Jean-Pierre, her predecessor, and compare the information for the public of the two. Trump's medical reporting from her and Biden's medical
Why we
reporting from
got it? Why are
Trump.
you talking about
That's
Biden?
Biden derangement.
Biden's not in office, and you're still talking about him. We're talking about what's going on right now, but
We're
you
talking
want to
about Biden
compare him to somebody
derangement.
who's not here right now.
We're
That's
talking
the
about Biden
derangement.
derangement.
That's the derangement syndrome right there.
I'm
But
talking
like we're
about the
talking about,
disparity in derangement. If you want to call people Biden deranged, you have to compare it to the bar up here, which is Trump deranged. So far, that is not existent. People
but
still
you
be mad at
just
Donald
did
Trump.
it. You just showed it. I'm talking about right now. We have a man who is falling asleep behind the wheel about to crash the car. Whenever there's a meeting, with a man that has ankles the size of your head, a man that has bruises all over his arm, the list goes on and on and on. And you're like, oh, let's compare him to Biden. What? And you're talking about derangement? I think that fits. Biden derangement syndrome. You're comparing you're comparing Trump to a guy. Trump is literally sleepy Joe Biden, right? Remember sleepy Joe Biden? You got to remember it because he says it all the time. Because we don't talk about Trump. I mean, we don't talk about Biden, right? Sleepy Joe Biden. But Trump is in meetings. Are you serious? He's in meetings falling asleep. Not like sleepy Joe
Again,
Biden.
again, the media has to compare
You
and
know what Fox
contrast
News says about
that
it?
for the public, if that's
You know
true.
what Fox News says about it? Oh, it's because he doesn't get enough sleep at night, basically. That's in a nutshell what they say.
Actually, no. If you watch Fox News, Leo,
I do.
they actually do enough journals to say, hey, the media's coverage of Donald Trump compared to Joe Biden. The other media, MS Now,
Right. Back
DNC
to Joe
later,
Biden.
they
I'm
don't do
talking about
that.
Trump, and here we go. Here's the Biden derangement syndrome compared to Joe Biden. Why do we got to compare him to Joe Biden? Why can't we talk about what we're looking at?
Because where was
Because
all
we have
this smoke
Biden derangement
for Joe
syndrome.
Biden when he was falling upstairs by the mainstream media? That was cheap fakes, right?
That's
People are
why.
not as
That's
stupid
why.
as we need them.
That's why I said Biden derangement syndrome. I can't even say what's going on with Trump at the present moment without you bringing up Biden.
The subject of this segment is Biden derangement. That's what you brought up. So I'm just continuing with the theme, unless you want to segue to something else.
I
In the
don't.
meantime,
I wanted to
family,
make a point.
excuse me while I whip out my new Christmas present I got today for my man in Harlem. Dun, dun, dun. It's cold outside. Yeah, 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 yeah. Donald Trump.
I give Donald Trump 4 months to live.
Dun, dun, dun. Stay
They figured
warm,
out what's wrong with
family.
him. They've actually figured out what's wrong with Trump. He's not long for this planet. I'm he has. Well, we won't get into that. That's not for this episode. So, okay, since we're talking about Trump and some of the derangement involved, what do you think about the thing? One of the biggest things in the news this week. One of the things they don't stop. There was the president of Honduras. a drug smuggler who was pardoned. Meanwhile, a drug smuggling president that was pardoned while he's attacking Venezuela for bringing drugs into this country on boats that can't make it to this country through borders that are supposedly closed. What do you think the real reason is?
Again, you got to start with the premise, Leo. That's Trump just being Trump. Controversial
Pardoning
as
drug
a
dealers is Trump. Wait. I want to understand what's Trump being Trump. Pardoning the drug dealers, Trump being Trump?
wow. If you didn't cut me off, you let me finish. So I say, does Trump being Trump controversial as always? And you could just leave it there across the
Are you
board.
really trying to put a
He's
positive spin
always
on it?
controversial. Always keep you guessing. You see how
Christ.
you're reacting? The rest of those people over there in the ether, they're doing the same. And he's just happy about it. Next,
He
flip the page.
This happened. So Trump being he pardoned the drug dealer because he wanted people to be upset. That's what we're saying here.
Controversial.
He freed the drug dealer to be controversial while illegally declaring a war and committing war crimes on another country for dealing drugs.
Okay, now I'm gonna actually have to get a different factoid here. Trump pardons a lot of people, unlike the predecessor. But this is the ex-president
Yes,
of
he's pardoned more
Honduras.
people than anybody in the history of this country, and he's pardoned more criminals than the prior person pardoned people altogether. But I digress because, please continue.
That's the fact. What a nice, generous president who
To pardon
is very
criminals.
lenient with the pardon. Unfortunately, unlike his predecessor that does pre-pardons, especially of his son. But we won't talk about that. So yes, the president of the United States,
That Biden derangement syndrome kicking in.
once again, which is Donald Trump, pardon this guy from what, Honduras, I
Oh
think
my
it
God.
was.
I didn't think
He's
I didn't
carrying.
know that until I did this episode. I didn't realize you have Biden derangement syndrome. You
No,
always
I'm
have
not.
to bring up Biden. That's
All
interesting.
right. Well, guess what? From this point on, for the rest of the life, I'm not gonna bring up Joe Biden in the
You're
previous
lying to
administration.
yourself.
I'm gonna do my best not to do that to prove that
Okay,
it
do
doesn't
my best.
exist.
I'll go for.
But you see, traditionally, Leo, again, the pivot will always be to the previous administration to compare and contrast. That's the point of this.
Mhm.
You have to have a point of reference of the standard of what the
We
dues have
don't
done
have to
for
have a
him.
point of reference. The man is pardoning he's letting drug dealers out of jail. Like, why do I have to have a point of reference to know that it might not be a good thing that he's letting drug dealers out of jail? Like, this is kind
Well,
of
for
like,
me, this is another
well, I was in my base. I
geopolitical.
don't need to be like, well, what happened last time?
Well,
He's letting
again, for me,
criminals out of
this
jail
well, you see now as you try to excite everybody about this, to me on the surface, looking
by
at this
stating facts.
information,
Oh, my
well,
bad.
the fact is this: Trump needs support in South America. Pardon this guy, in my opinion.
I bet he does if he's
Well,
committing war
look, that
crimes
makes
down
sense
there.
now. It makes sense now, doesn't it? That pardon this guy, a part of the geopolitical strategy in South America. Now that we're in a kind of hot, warming war with Venezuela, seems to be a
But we're
part of the
not in a
plan.
war. Congress has to declare
That's
war.
my
Trump
opinion.
can't declare war. Only Congress can declare war. We're not in a war. What Trump is doing is
All
war
right,
crimes.
fine. We have a situation with
He's
Venezuela, and
unaliving
we
people
need
committing
South
murder.
American support. So, pardon this guy makes sense. Now, you see how it made sense of the controversy for Trump? That's my answer,
Your answer is this is crazy.
in
Your
my
answer
opinion.
is, in your opinion, that he's freeing criminals
No matter what you label them.
to make peace because of the war crimes that he's committing, and he's hoping that the war crimes he's committing won't be looked down as bad as he attacks Venezuela, Colombia, what other parts of the Caribbean has he
He
hit?
pardoned the ex-president of
Tobago.
Honduras,
Uh,
Central and South America. He's trying to garner support for what's going on with Venezuela. Yes, that's my
Venezuela,
answer.
as I was saying, Venezuela, Honduras, he did not put right. Venezuela, Colombia, Tobago, Trinidad, as he attacks the entire Caribbean. Freeing a drug dealer is going to make him better.
With Honduras.
Maybe. So go after Venezuela, which happens to just have like one of the largest oil companies in the world, but while freeing a drug dealer
The ex-Venezuelan president. Yes, gotta give all facts there. Ex-president of Honduras. That's what it says here. That's what it's talking about, right?
Who by the way was indicted under
Here we
Trump
go. Here we
by Trump's
go.
attorney. What? Oh my God! No! Don't say facts. Don't say facts.
Well, the
Not
facts
facts.
is
We
this is
can't
the
do that. Not
ex-president
facts.
of Honduras. So let's put that in there.
Okay.
He
Okay.
has
Okay.
importance other than drug dealing.
Well, he does have importance on the drug. But let's go back to what I was saying before you tried to cut me off, because this is not going to be missed. He also happens to have been indicted under Trump by Trump's attorney in his
Yes.
last administration. Yes, yes, the trial happened under Biden. When he was indicted, it was by Trump.
Okay.
So
It goes to show you that President Trump, either way, doesn't have complete control of the Justice
it
Department
was his
in which we
attorney.
think. Well, there you go. So now he's pardoning him. Makes sense to me.
Wow, the things that make sense to you sometimes make me scratch my head. I have to be honest.
Well, this is
I
the
don't.
ex-president of Honduras, not just some drug dealer. If that's a part of the equation, but this is an ex-president of a country, period.
Ex-president of a country, period. Yes, he's an ex-president of a country that happened to have been smuggling drugs into the country before, while Donald Trump was trying to close the borders by building a wall, if you recall. But I
Amen.
guess those are facts, so we don't want to talk
Nepotism
about
and
that.
cronyism all over again.
I think a crooked administration making deals under the table and going and because he's so greedy, maybe just maybe going for oil like Bush did in Iraq. Maybe. Just perhaps. I mean, only if you look at the facts. The fact that right now he's trying to get rich off of oil and cryptocurrency. The fact that he's trying to deregulate everything. The fact that he wants to undo everything Biden signed. And the biggest thing that he signed, the biggest thing that Biden did was regulate. He was a huge regulating president. If you look at the bills he signed, if everything is undone, some of those regulations will be in the. Because remember, the clean air, the clean energy, all
You
of
see,
that
I
was.
like to address that, but then I might be accused of being mind deranged.
Oh no, now we're talking about Biden. Please let me have it.
Well, the thing about it is some of these things, like I had a conversation, I was looking at something today, I forgot what it was, in which are money-making devices for the Democratic Party long term. Climate change is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're not seeing all the horrific stuff they predicted, but a lot of nonprofit NGO organizations are getting very rich off the initiatives and pumping the money back into the Democratic Party. So that's what I can say about that one.
Okay, so people are making money off of the work that they're doing. Wow, that's so terrible.
Without
They
fixing the
should they should be they
problem.
should be no, you're
Without
right.
fixing the
They should be
problem.
they're so terrible. Why are they not working for free? What's wrong with them? Oh, but what are they doing? They're trying to protect the environment. Let's stop something like, I don't know, carcinogens. What is a carcinogen? By definition, do you happen to know what a carcinogen is? Well,
Uh,
I'm not a doctor, but from what I understand, a carcinogen is a cancer causing agent. It's a chemical that causes cancer. So maybe that's the definition of the word, right? So maybe we don't want carcinogens in the air because we don't want people to have cancer. These are things that Biden signed into law that Trump is trying to undo. Maybe these regulations that that Trump is trying to undo that Biden signed are important. One of the biggest ones is clean energy. Oh, I hate windmills. I hate windmills. They're ugly and the stupid things that come out of that man's mouth. They they
remember that drill baby drill, he wants us to use our own natural resources here.
no, that's not true.
He doesn't want us to
Okay,
use
so
our
let
own
me
natural
let
resources here.
okay, so let's now. I'm not an oil mechanic or nothing like that. I might have worked with oil for like 10, 15 years. Let's talk a little bit about oil. The oil in America has to have a special refinery in order to be utilized. This country doesn't have the refineries to use the oil that's in America. That's why we buy oil from overseas. We can't use the oil that's here. It would take years to build refineries to use the oil that's here. And instead of
I didn't say
building
oil,
refine
Leo. You did. I said natural resources. That
and I'm
includes
talking
oil,
about and I'm we're not we're not going far from Venezuela, so we're talking about oil.
coal.
So
You said carcinogen, so coal. Let's put coal in there. I put a blanket brush of natural resources. You want to focus
right,
on
and
oil. There's
trying to get
more
away from
natural
Venezuela.
resources here.
Okay, so back to Venezuela. So what I was saying was, being that we cannot use the oil here, and he's trying to wind back the regulations that was getting us away from coal and oil, that would make oil more valuable. But if we can't use the oil here, where do we get the oil? Well, before Biden was in, before Obama was in, somebody said, let's go to the Middle East. It's a new year. It's a new sheriff in town. There's oil that's closer. Let's go to Venezuela. And that's what's happening. And pardoning a drug dealer while he's doing it is literally a slap in the face of Americans. You're saying it's to cause controversy. I say, why would you want to cause controversy by
Whoa,
letting out?
that's one of two things. Remember the second part I said, Leo, because of the geopolitical situation in Central and South America and the Caribbean, which you added on there, he's trying to gain favor with certain countries, one of them being Honduras. So
Yes, because they're going to be happy that this tyrant, this drug smuggling tyrant, is free. That's going to make them
those are
very
my
happy.
opinions. See what I'm saying? Controversy and garnishing favor with Honduras.
So he wants to be known as somebody who pardons criminals. Well, he's been doing that all along. I mean, the man literally before he left office last time, it seems that nobody talks about it. Everybody forgets he was taking $1 million per pardon.
You forget that the pardon czar is a black woman that he pardoned.
What does that have to
Okay.
do anything with what I
Well,
just
you
said?
said pardoning criminals, so she's a criminal, isn't she? But he pardons criminals who are unjustly served. So that's a good thing. For Black
That's
America, especially.
well, maybe you feel that they're unjustly served, but I like to do things like this that's a little bit off kilter and that, might be a little different from you, like look at facts. And the people that he's pardoning, like the founder of Binance, these guys are criminals.
All the billionaires caught up in the mix.
Or guys who
And you
put
said that he's trying to get down with what? Cryptocurrency. And what does this shirt say? It says, I stand with crypto.
right, right. What did CZ, the founder of Binance, do? Oh, right. He put like $400 billion into Trump's company like a month before he was pardoned or something like that. Right. Yeah.
Well, what's this guy's name? Sanford Bernstein, Hogan Maxine Waters. He was another crypto tycoon. What's this guy's name?
It just so happens that he invested $400 billion into Trump's company and then got pardoned because it's a coincidence, right?
Another Ponzi scheme pump and dump. Let's see. What is this guy's name? Mhm.
While you're looking,
It happens all the
what
time
is
when you have these billionaires
what
strategically
happens
putting
all the
money
time? Are
in
you
their pockets.
crazy?
It does. Billionaires put a lot of money into politics for these purposes long term and judges. That's why PACs and campaign finance are
I'll go
very,
for
very
that. That's
important.
true.
So it happens all the time. Oh, he's sharing
The
the screen,
admiral who
everybody.
ordered the September boat strike
Yes, I saw
told
that.
lawmakers survivors were trying to finish the drug run. So it is at the point where it is so ridiculous. Did you happen to see that? Hold on. I need to
Yes,
pull
that was a
that
part of
up.
the packet you sent out today.
Um, like, did you see what the stranded people on the boat looked like before they tapped them the second time? Did you see it?
Well, you're a veteran, brother, so your assessment is better than
You don't
mine.
have to be a veteran. You don't have to be a veteran.
Well, you got to leg up. And now your opinion of this should be carried higher than mine. It's like my other veteran leader says, veterans should be a protected class. So whatever you're going with, I can only supplement. Oh, here we go. Put
I
the
didn't
children to
watch
bed
this. I
early.
didn't watch. I literally just loaded it now.
Put the children to bed early, family. You don't want to see this.
No. Oh God, this is how long is this?
Let the pixels. Let the pixels. That's 54 seconds. You have it on mute, but it's okay.
Yes, we don't need to hear what he's saying.
Okay.
I just want to see the actual.
Explosion and carnage. Okay.
Definitely, I want to see what they did. Oh, Jesus. This on the boat. Look at this. They just keep doing it.
I thought that some of the families are suing Donald Trump.
You like that is the least. Oh, I mean, do you see the size of those boats? Do you know how far away Venezuela is from here?
Okay.
Those boats cannot make it to America.
All right.
So they cannot be smuggling drugs. The boats can't reach here. It's not possible.
Maybe they're going to meet another boat or a shark to bring it over here. How about that?
And get past the closed borders.
I don't know. I don't assess this information as well as you can as a veteran. So as he sips his tea.
It is ridiculous. And then once you bomb the boat, and the guys are just literally holding on for dear life after a boat explodes like that, and you're in the middle of the sea. What do they say? What does the admiral say? What does the admiral say when
Well,
he
again,
attacks?
as
When
a
he
veteran, you already know the consequences. So just explain the consequences and the process they're in. That's it.
what does the admiral say when? And there's a 4-star admiral. Just in case you don't know, a 4-star admiral is the highest level you can get outside of a time of war. In a time of war, you can have a 5-star admiral. A 4-star admiral without a war, the highest you is the highest you can be. There's been no war declared by Congress, so there's no war. So
And
it's
what
the highest
branch?
rank. The Navy. This we're
And
talking
what
about the
branch are
order.
you from, sir?
The Navy.
Thank you for your service. Go on. The
This is the
viewer needs to know
highest.
this information.
Yeah. Okay. So I can speak a little on this.
Thank
This is the
you.
high. This is the highest level admiral that you can be. An admiral is the equivalent of a general in the army. So this is the highest level you can get, right? And you got these shipwrecked people holding on to the boats are blowing up. You see how these boats are blowing up, and these people are holding on for dear life, just trying to survive. And orders given to attack them again. And the reason he says that he gave the order is the admiral who ordered the September boat strike told lawmakers survivors were trying to finish the drug run. Like, did you see that? They were trying to finish the drug run. Like, what?
So
This
again,
is
Leo, once again, explain to us, even myself, because I don't want to speak on things that I'm not as knowledgeable of when I'm in the presence of an expert like you. Tell
I'm
us
not an
what are the
expert.
consequences? What, as a naval officer that I'm sure had to take classes on this, what are
I
the
wasn't. I was
consequences?
enlisted.
Huh?
I was enlisted. I was not an officer. I was enlisted.
Okay, as an enlisted officer, excuse me, apologize for that. What are the consequences for this kind of act?
Well, do you remember a month ago when some congressman said, "Do not follow illegal orders"? Do you remember that?
Okay,
We're all trained to follow those. That's given in boot camp. You do not follow illegal orders. You're trained
okay.
not to do that.
Mhm.
So the fact that Donald Trump didn't want this message out was because of things like this.
Yeah, but was this guy ordered to do this, or did he go of his own volition? That's the question. The Pete Hegg said
It does not matter.
well, then what's the process, Leo? So what orders were given by who that were illegal?
It
That's what
doesn't
we have to
matter
know.
that
Yes, it
like
does. That person has to go to jail, don't they?
yes,
So it does
everybody
matter.
involved will be imprisoned, court-martialed,
So
and a
sir,
court-martial is a type of trial. They'll be court-martialed, they'll be kicked out the military, and then they'll probably face for being that this was not a war.
so then this
Oh,
admiral should be court-martialed. Is that what you're trying to say?
I am not a judge. I would if I the fact that this happened is.
So the process would be if this person is in any kind of violation, he should be court-martialed, correct? Or should P.
That
Hegseth, the Secretary of War, something should happen to him too if he gave the order, or if it leads back to him?
he's probably good. See, that's why the Congress warned, or people in Congress warned people in the military or reminded them of our training. Because yes, I don't care if you got this order or not, you're responsible for committing a crime. The higher up the chain that order comes, the more people that will suffer the consequences. Everybody involved with this action will suffer the consequences of court martial and jail time at some point. Even, well, maybe not, because, Trump likes to pardon criminals. But it seems that Trump is starting to distance himself from the situation. And then,
There you go.
and then Pete decides he's going to distance himself and blame it on the admiral. And the admiral's
Under the
left
bus
to,
you go. Under the bus you go.
yeah, well, ish rolls downhill.
So then your prediction should be, Leo, as a veteran, you should say the following. This is what I would do. This admiral needs to resign. Just leave it like that.
That's not going to help him. He's going.
No, he's in violation. If the media is insinuating this with their
Resigning is
article,
not going to absolve him.
no, but that's not the point. There's a consequence. Obviously, he's guilty of a crime or a violation in the military. When you strike the enemy when they're down, as it were, he should resign. That would be my opinion,
It's the
based on what you
same thing.
said.
It's the same thing as if a cop saw you on the street selling things on the corner, and you saw the cop and you turned around and tried to run. You can't shoot an unarmed civilian. Full stop. So the military was acting like police with the drone, and they shot an unarmed civilian. I mean, Derek Chauvin got pardoned also. So
We're not talking about pardons. We're talking about the immediate action of the person that gave the illegal order,
I ain't
according
talking
to this
about
kind of
pardons
stuff,
because
which is the
Pete Hegseth
admiral.
can be. I'm talking about Pete Hegseth because Pete can be pardoned, and so can the admiral.
So, what do you want to see happen?
What I want to see happen is the people responsible to get their due justice, get the due process they deserve, and suffer the consequences of any illegal actions that they undertook. That's what I would like to see happen. So, while we're talking about war criminals, let's talk about another one. Vladimir Putin, whose war crimes do not end. In fact, they seem to get worse and worse. Not as bad as Benjamin Netanyahu, not even close. Not as of yet. However, things are so bad that Trump didn't want nobody to know what was going on. Instead of sending somebody with any type of negotiating skills or knowledge or skills at all, he sent his son. He literally sent his son. Like
You
he
mean his
did that.
son-in-law, Jared Kushner,
He sent a family member instead
who
of
has
somebody.
experience dealing with Israel negotiations with Hamas?
What is he? Right. The only other person he ever talked to was another tyrant. Got it.
Well, you gotta get the viewer the complete information because you're making it seem like this guy is coming in a novice. That's the point.
He is.
Well, he has
Like,
experience.
he got experience with Benjamin Netanyahu. So I mean, the only experience he had went south fast. Like it was
He's
like
done
the
other
only.
countries too. Jared Kushner's done other countries.
He's not for wartime situations. He is not.
Well, international, he's experienced with international relations. Let's just call it that.
Not for negotiating peace treaties and peace deals. So being that Putin seems to have something on Trump, for those of y'all that don't know, there was a mysterious email floating around that Epstein sent that stated that Vladimir Putin had the video of Donald Trump giving Bubba fellatio.
Okay.
You know how I did with the microphone?
Oh my God. I hope we can have that one, Leo. Let me see if that's flagged. Let me see what my legal notes are.
I didn't say anything.
Legal
It
note, legal note.
appears,
Legal
it
note.
appears that Putin might have something on Trump, which would explain the red carpet, which would explain why he passes off Putin's talking points as his own. It appears that Trump is compromised and he doesn't want nobody talking to Putin. So he sent his son, married to his daughter or something like that. Why do you think he sent Kushner?
Well, again, from the previous administration, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was involved with a lot of international Middle Eastern situations. So, and he actually represents personally the Trump brand. And of course, from the previous administration, Kushner was around when Trump and Putin were buddy-buddy. So it makes sense.
So he sent him because he represents his personal brand.
And has experience in administration dealing with international relations.
Although the only time he's ever dealt with a wartime situation, he's a complete failure. But Trump likes to keep people he can control that fail around him. That is why Todd Blanche is there. That I can keep going, but I digress. Speaking of the Epstein thing, right? It seems Ghislaine Maxwell wants her testimony hidden, but she because they're trying to expose her testimony right now, and she's claiming that she wants it hidden because she wants to file a writ of habeas corpus, a petition, seeking to get out of jail. She's filing it what is called pro se. Pro se means she's filing it herself. Her attorney won't even do it. She's filing it herself. She's filing it pro se. She's doing a writ of habeas corpus. She's trying to write a letter to the judge. She's trying to
So you're
put
saying
together.
that a man that defends himself in court as a fool for a client, but don't chink.
I'm saying that she had Todd Blanche come visit her. Donald Trump was absolved of any wrongdoing by her. She got moved to a minimum facility prison from a high priority prison because she was such a heinous criminal. And now she's filing her own writ of habeas corpus pro se. She's filing her own court paperwork to try and get out of jail and expect a pardon. So the checklist from the trial, we call it exhibits, she doesn't want exposed. Meanwhile, she said she's innocent. She said Epstein just likes to listen to these little girls play music. She said Trump has done nothing wrong. Even though we know from another email that Trump was alone in the house with one of these poor kids at like 15 years old while she was being trafficked for hours on end. Man is a well, I have daughters, so I feel a certain way.
And they're over your left shoulder and your right shoulder.
Touche, touche. Yes. The way I feel about it, I can't even say on camera.
Well, I got a question though. Is the daughter over are both daughters reflected real time, meaning the ones on the tables and the cabinet above each one, or no?
I don't understand the question.
For example, who's this daughter on the filing cabinet?
This one here? No, the
Yeah.
filing cabinet. This one, that's both of my daughters.
Yeah, but is it like past and present? You see what I'm saying? Are those when they both were younger, and then the top one is the present day? You see what I'm saying?
No, it's just random.
Oh, okay.
Like this is them like 5 years ago. This
Is
is
that both of them, or is that just you and
that's
them?
both of them.
Oh, okay, so that's both of them, and then boom. Okay.
Yes, that's the little one that's her here and her there. The older one that's her there and her when she was about this age.
Okay, and then that's her holding her.
Yeah, she's taking a picture with her sister.
This is a veteran single father. Ladies, go get him.
Ah, I'm not
Thank
so
you for
easy
your
to
service,
capture.
off, on, and off duty. That's funny. That's funny. You're my hero, Leo. I wish I could be like you, but I got no kids. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, that makes you a much better catch, I promise. Man with children is hard. But back to the Ghislaine Maxwell thing. Do you think Trump is going to pardon her? Do you think my prediction from months ago is going to come true?
Anything's possible, but the way it's going so far, no.
Do you know who Amelie Bobae was?
Let me see. That was in the notes.
Yeah, I didn't put this together. I messed up. Amelie Bobae was Trump's lawyer, the one that pardoned that indicted Juan Orlando Hernández.
Yes, yes, I have that here. Yes.
It was Amelie Bobae. It was Trump's attorney.
Okay, we're back to this.
Yeah, I didn't have. I put this in the wrong place. I didn't put it together. My apologies. I just thought I'd put it out there. It's actually literally was Trump's attorney under Trump's administration that indicted this guy. So in order for that to have happened, that means that Trump gave the okay for it. But I digress. He's pardoning him now. I wonder if he's going to make any money off of it. Anyway, we was talking about Russia earlier, right? I really got to do better with my notes. Look at this. Let me ask you
We
a
already touched
question,
upon that. It's Garrett Kushner's taking care of it. We talked about that.
right? But then,
Unless you're talking about the sanctions being lifted, that's what I'm saying.
absolutely. So he sends his son, and the sanctions are being lifted
Son-in-law.
simultaneously.
Well, again, remember, I can't say it enough. Under the previous Trump administration, him and Putin were cool. Everything was cool. This man's about cutting deals and making money. We all know what we're dealing with. So if this
Can I
man
ask a
Trump
question?
can cut a deal with Putin and make some money and people stop dying, getting killed with our weapons, I'm happy with it.
Wait, that was almost silly. Let me ask this.
Okay.
So do you think it's going to? Do you think it'll help to make Putin want to stop invading Ukraine by lifting sanctions?
That's what it's
Oh,
supposed to do. Because you put
by the
sanctions on to prevent these situations as well. Sanctions are a tool internationally, like tariffs,
so lifting sanctions
negotiating tools.
it's supposed to make Putin want to stop. Wouldn't the
Yes,
sanctions being on be the reason he wants to stop?
it's just like tariffs, Leo. It's an international negotiating tool amongst countries economically, but its purpose makes sense to me.
Well, what makes more sense to me is the actual sanction is being lifted. In case you're not aware, it's on
Oil.
something called Luke. Oh, absolutely.
Exactly. There's a lot of money to be made now. Let's make some money, Putin. Put the guns down. Let's pick up the pen and paper. Let's cut these deals. Simple.
I don't think that. I think it looks more like the Venezuela thing that Trump is enriching himself. I don't see how America at all can benefit from this oil. It looks like.
Again, if it creates peace during this whole ordeal, I'm willing to let Trump make his money and let there be peace and no more bloodshed. Simple.
Why do you think
That's
it's
my
going to
opinion.
lead? Why do you think it's going to lead to peace?
Well, that's the purpose.
What?
You just said it. In order to negotiate, he is lifting these sanctions to try to prevent this
I did
war
not say that.
going.
I did not say that. I did not
What
say
did you
anything
say?
about negotiating. You said negotiating. I
Well,
didn't
that's
say
my
anything about
response.
negotiating
Why is he doing it? That's my response. So my
because
response
you think it's a
is
negotiating tool.
yes, just like
But
sanctions, just
it's
like tariffs.
but he did that right after Putin said that he's ready to go to war with all of Europe starting World War III.
Makes sense. Let him have it. Let's go. Chill. Let's just chill. This is good. Communication is good than bullets.
Well, perhaps World War III would not be possible if the right sanctions was put on and Russia's money dried up. Allowing money to flow into the country is propagating war. But that's just common sense.
Well, again, not to deflect or be sound Biden deranged, this is a war Trump inherited. So
He didn't inherit World War III. He didn't inherit invading Poland. He didn't inherit
here we go.
World War III. He's lifting sanctions on Russia, who probably has on him. And we're talking about World War III. We're not talking about little stuff anymore. Putin is now speaking about he could defeat all of Europe. That's what he said. He literally said that. He could take Europe. He's ready to go to war with Europe. He literally said that. You
So
understand
it's
that?
a good thing. Yeah, yeah. So it's a good thing that America and the president, the only people Europe needs to negotiate a deal, will do something like this. Otherwise, they need be screwed. So seems like a good idea to me.
It seems like a good idea to you to let Putin have more money as he's as, and as he's literally saying, "I'm ready to go to war with the rest of the world."
Let's see what happens. He knows Jared Kushner from the past 4 years of Trump and being in those circles and those dinners and events and activities.
But Trump
Oh,
has been
hey.
saying that he was going to get Putin to slow down and back up for this war for how many months has he been in office? 9, 10, 11
I
months?
keep saying that Trump's strong suit is not international military conflicts. So let's see what
And
happens. What
maybe,
kind of deal is?
if you're right about that, then maybe he needs to bring in some experts because lifting these sanctions is the Russia's main influx of money, their main way to make money, their main business. What Russia does to make money is sell oil. Those sanctions are the biggest weapon to control Russia. Lifting those sanctions opens up the financial faucet for Russia. What does that mean in English? What that means is you're enabling him to actually possibly go to war with Europe. And we are speaking about the country with more nuclear warheads than any other country in the world. And now you're giving him funding.
Hey, man. For me, the art of the deal under President Trump, who had a great relationship with Putin the first 4 years was in office, I'm okay with this.
And how does the rest of MAGA feel outside of the America
Well,
First?
again, well, I'm America first, but yes, we're trying to stop the military conflict. Lifting the sanctions
Does
with the
MAGA
power of
really
the
believe
pen.
that?
Well, lifting the sanctions with the power of the pen to prevent more of our weaponry and funding going into the war is a better look for America interests than pumping money and weaponry into the war. So yes, that makes sense for America first. To stay
So
out of
does
it,
MAGA
actually,
actually believe?
to actually stay out of it might be a better whole deal to say, you know what, Europe, you guys can have each other at Russia. We'll just stay over here. That might be pure America first isolationism. But me, if they're gonna have Trump at the table with the power of the pen, lifting the sanctions, fine.
As somebody that's in the room
No
with MAGA,
bloodshed.
as somebody that's in the room that hears the conversations, does this really make sense to MAGA?
Well, for me, I haven't been a part of those conversations, but it makes sense on the surface as opposed to sending more weaponry and funding and our own military contractor consultants over there. Makes sense to me.
Okay, so you haven't had these conversations. This is just your opinion. I'm not being going to be able to tap
Based
you
on
to
the
get.
information that just came out. Yes, this is new, fresh news.
It's not, but it's been out for a few days, and I was hoping to be able to get some sort of insight as to how somebody could possibly support this insanity. Um, but as you've always pointed out, international affairs isn't your strongest suit. So I was not
Where's
trying to.
Trump's military record when it comes to international affairs? He didn't have to deal with
Right,
wars during his first administration.
that's a lie.
Of this caliber, excuse me, let me add that caveat. He didn't have to deal with wars on this scale in his first administration with these international leaders. It's always been a conversation. Always been a conversation and deal. So that's why I trust that strong suit is.
Well, being that international is not your thing, I was really hoping to get a broader understanding of what the MAGA at large was thinking, not try and pin you into a corner, but being that you don't have that information available to be able to explain to us with, I'm not going to continue in the conversation. I can't get what I'm looking for, and this isn't your strong suit, so your stance is going to be your stance. And so I'm not trying to paint you into a corner, so I'm going to drop the subject. Gerrymandering is now being allowed by the Supreme Court. Although a
No shit.
federal judge appointed by Trump said, although a Trump federal judge said these maps are gerrymandered, the Supreme Court is like, it's all right, go ahead, don't worry about it.
Well, you got to keep in mind that in his first administration, and this is what talks about a lot in the MAGA realm, Trump had the wrong people around him more so, and was appointing a lot of rhinos and people that didn't have the America First MAGA agenda in mind. So you always have to take those things with a grain of salt with these appointed judges that you label Trumps. Okay, just because it's Trumps on the surface doesn't mean they're down with Trump. There's a lot of Republicans, especially here in New York, that hate Donald Trump. They say, hey, they're Republicans. They must be Trump Republicans. No.
Well, I mean, if Trump appoints them, if Trump gives you the job, and then you look at the map and you're
The
like, yo, wait a minute, time
first
out. Why
time,
is it that
no, 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 no.
everybody
The first time Trump was in office, like I said again, number 45, remember the Russiagate? He stole the election. He appointed people at the advisement of people that did not have his interests at heart. Simple.
Okay, I won't argue that, but I will state that the maps are obviously gerrymandered, and
Democrats do it all the time. Look at Massachusetts.
so for you, it's okay to try and count out black votes, and the fact that they're trying to take away the black protection for votes, the second section of the Voting Rights Act, which protects people from being discriminated against because of the color of their skin. Got it. Just people don't know what's going on and got to put it out there. The second section of the Voting Rights Act is in court and they're trying to strike it down so that they can literally say your vote doesn't count because you're black. It's literally being struck down in court as we speak.
Okay, you just went from just being black to blanketed discrimination for everybody else. So that's the problem.
Well,
Black people like we have,
it was
the
created during
mixture.
the Civil Rights
Is it
Act
for black
for
people or is it for
blacks.
everybody? What are we doing here?
You
It's only
don't
for
make
black people
laws
as
for
needed as this kind of political tool to freaking
you don't create laws and be like, oh, this is for black people. You create laws because of a situation, and black people are like, well, good, that's us right there. It was created during the civil rights era, something that our civil rights leaders fought for, that's been our protection since the civil rights era, that's being taken away. You can't discount that because it doesn't say it's only for black people. That's like saying I don't even have a that's like saying, well, the sun is good for everybody, so I'm not going to say the sun is good for me. Like I might still need the sun too. Just because it's not just for me doesn't mean it doesn't work for me.
well, shout out to all our over 2,600 viewers here, especially
Oh
you,
wow, thanks for
brother
coming in. I haven't
Gaming
even
Gaming
checked.
BD 66220. We do have the receipts, and every week and every episode we're gonna come hard with the receipts. Okay, brother? Thanks so much.
All right, and Chrissy J was most of the rest of this. Hello, Chrissy J. Uh,
Yes, with enough posts, you'll be a number one as well. Right now, you're at number three. So every
this
week, join
isn't.
us, and your score will go up.
Yes, yes. Thank you everybody for coming. What is going on? Typical small brain conclusion. I don't know which one that is. This isn't the little tugboat that could about the boat in Venezuela. I wish it was a joke, but people are getting unalived by our U.S. government. Were
I'm gonna
But
show
my
you my
closest
other
personal
Christmas
experience with
gift.
military
You know,
stuff
I
is
got a
Call of
Christmas
Duty.
gift for you, Leo, that I was given today. If you want it, dun, dun, dun. Can you see that, my friend?
I
This is
don't
for
want
you,
it.
Leo. You don't want it? I
I do
got this
not.
today.
Somebody gave it to you for me. Is it somebody that watches the show?
I don't know. I haven't sent the show to him, but yes, you can have this one. This is my second one I got here. I give it to another veteran. You
I
want
well, yeah, I'll burn it on camera. That's great. Thanks.
it? Now that's Trump derangement, folks. There. If he gave me a Biden something or other, would I burn it? No.
Well, Biden didn't try and put nooses into the military part of the uniform, so I don't know what's going to happen. Another wild week in politics. Yes, yes, gaming BD sure is. Thank you for receipts. But yes, absolutely, I would burn it. Like you're talking about a man that tried to put swastikas and nooses into the military again. Like, yeah, we can. I safely say I can burn the hat. And the fact that you're okay with swastikas and nooses, everybody's different. I
Well,
digress.
you see, he's not really hurting veterans like the next potential presidential nominee, Gavin Newsom in California. I
Well, you're not a
believe
veteran, but you're black,
Gavin,
so I think the noose affects
my,
you more
my,
than
my,
veterans.
my point is this: who hurts or helps veterans more so? Gavin Newsom, a potential president, or the current president, Trump? Think about it, folks, based on record. I'll leave that there.
Who would put nooses? and swastikas on uniforms outside of Trump, alive right now that can be in, like, well, probably a lot of guys behind closed doors, but he actually doing it.
The answer is Gavin Newsom. California has the highest homeless rate of veterans in America. Donald Trump went out his way by signing an executive order to stop just that. So, veterans, Leo's a veteran, listen to him. I defer to him, but that's my opinion.
By the way, if you're liking the content, please like, share, subscribe. We're here every Sunday, 9 p.m. We're trying to boost our numbers up and get some of these, get some subscribers going. So please hit us up. I had somebody I was working with that threw a lot of bots on, so I'm purging the bots, and we want real subscribers. We need people like you. Please help us out. We want to get to 100,000. We've got a couple more things to talk about. Let's go with the 5,000 jobs that was lost last month that Trump tried to hide. Let me guess. Biden's economy, right?
Well, you brought up Biden. But again, I question anything with labor statistics. I question after it being exposed that those numbers were actually conflated because of political purposes, as we saw months ago. So I already
That was
spoke
not
this.
proven. And actually, I believe
Well,
if I remember correctly, and I do, if I remember correctly, what happened was statisticians use projected numbers on their reports until the real numbers come in. Like you can't magically know what all the jobs are until the numbers come in. So they're like, well, it's 40,000 this month. That's probably what it's going to be. That's what we're expecting. And then the numbers come in. You're like, all right. And this happens every single month. Every month since the beginning of reports. This is not something new because it's impossible to do any other way.
you
So
yourself said it was crazy how the numbers went up, I think 200% or something like that. You was like, yes, this is egregious. You even admitted yourself at the
yes, it
time.
absolutely is egregious. That because what the egregious part isn't the fact that she got it wrong. The egregious part is why she got it wrong. It was so wrong because of how many jobs were lost that even that the statistician couldn't possibly predict it. Such as what just happened last month, where they predicted 40,000 jobs, but it looks like they lost 5,000. And this isn't coming from the administration where they're hiding the numbers. This is coming from steady job reports that have gone on for decades that the administration
Let's
can't touch because it's private. It comes from like Bloomberg or something like
let's
that.
see if Trump fired her already. Let's see. Trump fires labor statistic.
We're
Fires.
not talking about the statistician. It didn't come from the statistician. He's hiding those numbers. He doesn't want those numbers seen. You have to get the numbers from elsewhere. It's doing so bad he won't show the numbers.
Yes, Trump fires labor statistics
You're
commissioner
talking about McIntyre? That was back in
May.
like
Was it
yeah, that's
August?
McIntyre. Erica McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, he fired her. Okay, that's just I just want to put that out there for the audience that he did fire the commissioner that did mess up those numbers. So they're still cleaning house, in my opinion. So I'm not sure what to believe.
Believe that people are losing jobs. Believe the job market's bad. Believe the economy's bad. You don't have to believe it. Just that, because, facts
Well,
and all
this
of
was a
that.
major issue when the Democrats won in November, so I will give you that, Leo.
And on top of that, during Biden's administration, people were not losing jobs.
Well, I didn't mention
You
Biden.
cannot deflect the Biden. People
I
were
didn't
not
defy
losing jobs.
Biden. I
No, I
just
know, but
said
you can't deflect the Biden by saying this is Biden's economy because
I
this
didn't
wasn't
say it.
happening until Trump got in office. This is Trump's economy. Well, with all of the horrific things going on, with World War III at the brink, with people in Gaza being exterminated, little kids being starved to death, with the economy tanking, with people losing jobs, with I can keep going on and on and on. Trump needs a distraction. Trump needs something to happen to try to get people to think about anything other than how bad the economy is and how bad of a job he's doing. Lucky for him, although there was no new evidence and nothing surfaced, they were able to figure out somehow that a black man might have been responsible for the
Is
pipe bombing.
responsible. Is responsible. You mean the white black man that Jake
Hold
Tapper,
up,
slave
wait,
Tapper?
stop. Why do you say is responsible?
Isn't he guilty of the pipe bombs? on January 6th that they didn't
How do you
report?
know that? There was no court date yet. He was arrested. What does that mean? You're
That
saying he's
means that
guilty
as a
without
black
trial?
man on the January, well, okay, remember, seeing as though I can't deflect the blame, but this did happen under January 6th that they keep putting in our face. Why wasn't it exposed then? The reason on this side that
Why
we
wasn't it
feel is
exposed?
because
You
a
don't
black
know.
man.
Did you read the article or you just look at headlines?
No, this is actually stuff that's out there.
No, that's 100% not
Then
correct.
read the article for
They
us,
okay.
Leo.
So here's what the article you sent me said. Well, you sent me a YouTube and then you had to find the articles. Excuse me. What it said was that they didn't have any new evidence. They just kept using the evidence that they had, and they discovered that this guy was responsible and went and arrested him. They didn't have no new evidence, but they discovered it somehow. That's the that that's what they're saying. They don't have no new evidence, but they figured it out.
Well, guess what? Again, this goes back to January 6th, the evil J6ers, when this was going down. Why for 4 years, people, was this guy not further looked into? We suspect over here, this is not an article, is
Again, it wasn't about
because
him being
that he
further
was
looked
a
into.
black man and they said, hey, let's just let this rock. That's what we suspect. Because if it was a white guy, then they could parade this guy all over the news as another January 6th white extremist. That's what we're saying. 2021.
Not sure if it's Biden derangement syndrome, but the GOP reactions have definitely escalated lately. Interesting to hear both perspectives. Yeah, I agree. Definitely escalated. Ava, Biden derangement syndrome. That's right. Everyone does seem to be hyped up over what's going on. Leonard and Dion coming with the pop. Thank you, Mia. Really appreciate how they're unpacking the narrative instead of just we trying. Thank you instead of just repeating headlines. We trying, Mason. All right. So my feeling on it is this: suddenly there's new evidence, or there's no new evidence, but they was able to continue looking into the evidence that was there they said they've been investigating for 10 months. So they just figured out based on evidence that was there, according to Kash Patel, head of the FBI. They just figured out that this guy was responsible or
The
might be
first,
responsible
the first Asian FBI director. Why is this suspect being a black man so important, Leo? Why is that in the notes?
because you sent it, so I thought you wanted to talk about it.
I did, but for me, I'm saying it's relevant because if it were a white guy, this would be much different about January 6th and the whole media play and the whole legal play as well. So my thing is, what are your thoughts of this black man, a black man being a pipe bomber, January 6th?
Well, I got several thoughts. The first thought is that they didn't show any evidence. They're claiming it, but until he's tried, calling him a pipe bomber is like calling Trump a felon before he got his felonies. He has the felonies. You don't even want to talk about them. I can't call him a felon. You're calling this man who hasn't gone to trial yet a pipe bomber. He hasn't gone to trial. He is not convicted. You cannot say he's a pipe bomber. That's my first thought. My next thought is it's super convenient with all of the terrible things going on that they suddenly was able to put this evidence together and
Cash Patel.
find Kash Patel of all people who needs the help more than anybody in the administration, more than except for possibly Pete Hegseth, suddenly came together with no new evidence, was able to figure this out. That's my second thought. My third thought is the fact that the reason people thought he was white is because people can read and know history. And when you look at the statistics historically, when you're looking for somebody, a domestic terrorist in this country, over 90% of them are white males between the ages of 28 and 52.
Well,
So
another thing is that his
you
father
asked my thoughts.
was down with Ben Crump, the civil rights attorney. So some people are arguing like, hey, this guy was trying to probably set it up so that it looks like more white supremacy when it was not.
Or they blamed him to try and get some media coverage off of them and put something in media to feed their base, which, by the way, I know you don't like to accept these facts, are mostly, or there's a lot of racist white people there. And them seeing a black person get arrested by the FBI instead of a white guy is going to feed his base. A lot of you're denying that there's a large portion of the base that's actually white nationalists. You're going to deny that?
No, I don't know that at all.
All right, so then this feeds his base. What? I'm listening. You have the floor.
Long story short, identity politics doesn't really come into
Whoa,
play.
whoa, whoa! Now you want to talk about identity politics? First,
That's
you want
why
to
I
talk
brought it to
about
your
the first Indian,
attention.
the first Indian, blah 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 blah.
No,
Now it's identity
that's
politics.
why I'm sarcastically saying that because when things happen on the right side of the fence, identity politics no longer applies when it's in the negative. Cash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and the Secretary of the Treasury, these people are diversity in this administration. Normally, first time people in these caliber will be uplifted, but the media does not do that. That is the problem. This black man does not fit the January 6th narrative because he's black. And let's just put it out there.
Well, they just discovered him, and what you said was,
It was
"Oh, they got
covered
it
up for four
wrong."
years. Yes.
Well, it took Cash Patel a year too. I'm just saying, if you want to talk about him, and it just happens to be while Cash Patel is under fire for sending protection to his girlfriend, for
Oh boy.
with our money, for flying jets just on our money, for being incompetent, and suddenly something that happens, and they find a black guy did this, and all of a sudden he looks competent, and it's a coincidence. I think that's something for the MAGA base to believe. That's my take.
Okay, well then.
I, not even a rebuttal. Whoa. Well, I guess that's about it. Sorry, but and it's the truth because with 90% of white national of people that commit domestic terrorism being white, it is a surprise to see a black person doing. That's not the kind of crimes we do. If somebody shot up a nightclub, it's probably a black guy. Word. Like, that's probably a black person. If somebody bombs a church or just does something crazy for no reason, like something really deranged, it's probably a white guy. It's just what it is. And that's if the FBI, this is a fact, if the FBI is looking for a terrorist, a domestic terrorist, what they're looking for, what this is how their search goes. They're looking for a white male. That's what they look for. Off rip. Is it that no black person's ever committed a crime? No, that's not the case. But the numbers are so staggeringly that it's white male that's what they put in the suspect description, white male. Because when you hear domestic terrorism, when you hear somebody did something crazy, what's the first thing you think of? You don't think a black guy, do you?
The
No, you
people you
don't.
least suspect by stigma and narrative.
By statistical analysts and analysis. But then again, what I mean, Mag would fire the statistician, wouldn't they? What's going on in here? In the words of Leroy Jethro Gibbs, I don't know who that is, of NCIS, okay. No such thing as coincidences. Ah, Soka, I understand. See that? No such thing as coincidences. If it, you know, barks like a dog, walks like a dog,
Here we
it's
go.
probably not a damn cat.
Duck, goose. Duck, goose. Remember that
Nah,
game?
nope, not. We're
Not
not
duck,
doing that.
goose.
Listen, we're going outside the box. We have to go outside the box because inside the box you're like, oh, it's a black guy. He did it. He's guilty. Outside the box you're like, you mean to tell me Cash Patel suddenly did something competent? Yeah, whatever. It's not a cat. It's not Schroeder's cat. There's something wrong with this. It doesn't make sense. It's illogical. I don't believe for a moment, not even a fraction of a moment, that Cash Patel just got lucky right now and the FBI cracked this case. That sounds ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying that luck doesn't happen, and maybe he did just get lucky. I just got lucky this weekend, and in the case that I'm trying to bring to court to sue somebody and I had enough evidence to make the suit, somebody just gave me a whole like dropped a file on my desk with tons of like this idiot just gave me everything I needed. I wouldn't have needed everything else I had. And I'm like you're really just giving this to me? You don't know you're going to court. Okay. I'm lucky. So it can't happen. But chances are Cash Patel pinned this on somebody to try and make him get the heat off of himself. And it being a black man is just good for the entire Trump administration. When the black man doing it, okay, so what's, somebody said Gibbs and something like that in CIS. So I guess the first question is motive. Why did he do it? That's not been mentioned anywhere because it's likely not so. He just randomly decided he's going to bomb places. Like, what? Why? What is the motive? You know? And what evidence did they gather? They've been looking at the evidence. There were surveillance videos, and it took you 10 months. You had surveillance videos, and it took you 10 months to find the guy. If you had all this evidence, why did it take so long? I don't believe you. Because the Trump administration does once in a while tell a tall tale, and they will definitely do the black man dirty. Ask DEI, ask the Voting Rights Act, ask affirmative action, ask nooses on military uniforms, ask the 450,000 black women that have lost their jobs before the job report stopped coming out months ago, since Trump's been in office. And that's a horrible sentence to have to say. But I digress. I'm just a black man in here looking for some spinach because I want my Popeye muscles. Got the right here. Got
And a
right here.
veteran black man as well. So never forget, don't be ashamed of your military past, really, Leo.
I'm going to get that hat. I really am going to burn it on camera.
Thank you, viewers. Merchandising, merchandising.
Yes, I will get it so I can burn it. I just to show that I am against Trump. By the way, I'm not even a Democrat. So the reason that's important, have I voted for
I need
Republicans
to
in the
see that in
past?
writing at this
Have I
point.
voted for Republicans in the past? Absolutely.
Like who?
That's private, but I definitely
Yeah, you
have.
see, he can't even do it.
No, I actually have. And I voted independent, but because I am independent, but I would be the target vote. I would be the one because as a business owner, Republican things tend to make more sense for me as than somebody. It's the working classes for Democrats, right? But business owners, we benefit more from the tax breaks that Republicans try to push. It's just math. It's just math. But I don't support either party wholeheartedly.
It doesn't appear that way on this show, believe me.
Well, the reason it doesn't appear that way on this show is because I am so against Trump. It has nothing to do with the
Yes, that's called
Republican
Trump
Party.
deranged. That's Trump deranged. You just admitted
No, well, it's because of his policies. I mean, with his policies, how do I not be against him? I mean, I'm self-aware. I know what's going on in my life, in the world around me. I am very self-aware. His policies are not good for me or anybody that I know, like, or care about. So yes, I'm against him. He's a bad man. He's spent his entire life conning people out of money. That's what he does. He's a con man. That's what he's done his entire life. That's why he got 34 felony counts. That's why when he went in office the first time, he had to settle with all them people that went to his school because he was frauding them. And instead of letting the court go on and finish it in court, he just paid out. He's just been conning people his entire life. And he's doing it now. He conned MAGA into following him, even though it's very obvious that the things that he's doing is not good for the economy. The tariffs should be enough by itself to show that. Like, what good has he done? He closed the borders down, but drugs are still coming in. What good has he done? Let me take a quick look. This is one of the more balanced takes I've heard on this whole Biden versus GOP media frenzy. Thank you, Antoine. Uh, the Biden is becoming just another political buzzword. Well, I thought I made that up. I don't really hear people using Biden derangement syndrome. I made that up for this to counter the Trump derangement syndrome. Both parties act like the other is deranged at this point. That's true. That's true. That's true. It seems like both parties feel like the other one's more deranged. And that's 100% fact. And that's the divide that we're dealing with in this country. And that's why this show is important, so we can talk from different aspects and try and come to some resolution. That's what we're working. That's what we're working toward, right, Dion?
Yeah.
So, I mean, even Dion admits that maybe there is some Biden derangement syndrome. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything such thing as Trump derangement syndrome either. But if we're gonna have one, then it has to be both. I don't think either is real because I do have a background a little bit in psychology also. And what? That sounds crazy. I think people that think that the derangement syndrome exists might want to, talk to somebody about why they think that one person can have an entire disease created based around people that don't like their policies. It's crazy. It's real. I think that might be a problem. And, I've heard professional psychiatrists speak on it because it's a little, it's something I don't want to be offensive with my wording, but, naming an entire syndrome against someone to support someone who's doing things that negatively impact your own life.
You see, it's a syndrome because you see how you just mouth off about all the stuff that he did not being the president before he became president. That's a part of the package. Nobody names anything about Biden when he wasn't in politics or president for that point
That's
in
because he
his
spent his
personal business.
entire adult life in politics. So
And
it's
that's the
kind of hard
problem.
to not do it. He was a politician when I was born. I'm 50. So it's kind of hard not to talk about it's kind of hard to talk about what he did when he wasn't in politics. I can go back and talk about all the bad stuff he did while he was in politics. I don't like Biden. But I don't like Biden. Remember that. Maybe you forgot. I am not a Biden fan. Remember? So, I mean, your points are made, but at the end of the day, as much as I disliked Biden, the policies he put in place were good for me, were good for the country, so I supported it. Do I think the man was a racist? Absolutely. Do I think he's still a racist? I don't know him. I can't tell, but I know some of the things he said in the past. But I know the policies he put in place while he was seated in the throne of power that Trump now currently resides in, while he was in charge, like EPA, like bringing the world back from the brink of destruction financially because of the economical fallout of COVID, are things that I 100% support. What has Trump done that you can say, yes, I support, other than supposedly closing the borders that the drugs are apparently still coming through, according to the Trump administration?
I don't understand the question, Leo. It sounds kind of
I
complicated.
know it was very wordy, but it was actually very well
I
said.
don't understand the question. That was like a lot.
I will say it simpler.
Please.
What did Trump do outside of closing the borders, which,
Oh, okay.
you know, the drugs apparently are still coming through, that you actually support, that impacts your life?
The man said, and hopefully we'll end here because I always bring this up, Leo, and you get mad. A boy is a boy and a girl is a girl, and that's it.
So that's your big I support Trump thing because he's against the LBQGT community. That's your big thing for him. That's
I didn't
Trump
say
is
it like
good.
that. I didn't say it like that. I just said the man
I'm
said
stating the
a
facts.
boy is a boy and a girl is a girl.
So what does he do to impact your life? What policies did he put in place that actually made your life better? I could tell you policies that that Biden put in place to make your life better, and I didn't like Biden. What did Trump do that's garnered your support policy wise that made your life better?
He closed the border first thing.
But drugs are still coming through, aren't they?
Not in the excessive force they were, but most importantly, people. That's the most important part. Understand? Like in New York, the sanctuary city, our whole infrastructure was nearly destroyed. All our hotels, our food stamps. Did you know that food stamps and public assistance scams and swipes and stuff like that went through the roof as a result? People like my aunt in Virginia had her food stamps stolen. This is amazing. I wonder why. because of the mismanagement and influx of humanity through that border.
Don't put people's
There you
personal
go.
business out there, bro. We got too many listeners for that. Don't do that. Um. Okay. So that's a positive thing that you could say he did. The borders did need to be closed, and I agree with that. The borders being wide open was crazy.
So we can end with us agreeing.
We do have something that we can agree on. We definitely have something. The borders being open like that was insane. That was definitely bad for the country. Do I think it's the 0% crossing of the borders? I think anybody that believes that is pretty stupid. Like you need war. Like there's no way you can't patrol the entire border. Like how do you know it's 0%? How do you know? How do you monitor if you can't monitor the entire border? How do you know people are not getting across? That's stupid. But
Well,
the
the
numbers being
arrests
so
are
far down,
down.
that I can agree with and support. So you've got two things that he did. What positively impacted your life?
Oh, damn, Leo. If I gave you two examples, that's all I have for today. Yikes.
That's all you have ever. He's done two things, neither of them directly affect you. You can say, well, immigrants not being there affects me because, well, if you're not using food stamps and you're not using, how does it affect you again?
I told you with my family and other people in the community that are on public assistance. Now there's going to be more apartments. That's another point as well, and more
How
funding.
does it affect you?
Me personally, under this administration,
Something positive he did that affects you. Policies, because I just gave you like 3 or 4 policies that
okay.
personally affected me
All
with
right.
Biden.
Well, let's just go with the pardon czar. We have a black woman pardon czar.
How does
And
that
right
affect
now,
you? Are
how
you
does it affect?
pardoned? Are you a criminal?
I don't know, but this
So
gets.
how does it affect you?
I don't know.
Right, exactly. You can't name anything that he's done that affects you. And I can name things that he
Because
did that
all
affects you.
politics are local, Leo. This is the president. On the small scale, I'm
His
impacted by the
tariffs have
Democrats
increased
here.
prices. His tariffs have increased prices. That affects you.
That
That
has
affects
nothing to
me.
do
That
with the
affects our
MTA
audience.
increase. That has nothing to do with the MTA increase and congestion pricing here in New York City. We were going from $2.90 a fare to $3 a one-way swipe in fare in New York City. Congestion pricing, charging people that own cars to go below 96th Street in New York affects us all. Donald Trump tried to stop those things. Now, if he stops congestion pricing, I can say yes, that affects a lot of things. Understand? But he has no direct impact here on New York City on that caliber. So until we get rid of these Democrats in New York City, then I can say the president has trickled down.
Well, I know you don't really understand finances that much. You always say that. Trust me when I explain to you that the tariffs that he put in place directly affects you. It affects me. It affects our audience. He's putting policies in place that hurt us. The jobs being lost affects the entire economy. The things he are doing, the what is it? The regulations that he's lifted, the regulations that are disappearing, affects you. It affects me. It affects everybody. Because now there's going to be more poison in the air, more poison in the food. Because the regulations are being lifted. He's doing things that hurt you. You can't name
You
anything
can't, you
Biden's
can't,
done.
you can't, you can't, you can't just let it go. The
Hold
answer
on, wait,
is the
wait, wait,
Democrats hurt
wait.
me more so than Donald Trump ever
I
can.
want it now. That's good because that's what I wanted to ask. Name a policy that Biden put in place that hurt you.
Rockefeller drug laws.
How did that hurt you?
It hurt every black man in
How
America.
did it hurt you?
It did.
Name a policy that he put in place as president that negatively impacted you. I just named a couple that Trump
He
did. You
took
name one.
away, he took away the stimulus checks.
Okay, so wow. No, he
That
didn't
was
take away.
President Trump, and Joe Biden took it away.
He did not take away stimulus checks. Trump did a one-time stimulus check thing. He didn't take them
I
away.
thought
They
he did
just
it
wasn't there
twice.
anymore.
He
Okay,
did
so he
twice.
stopped. So, but afterwards he stopped. So he only did two. So he didn't take them away because they weren't there. That was a good try.
He didn't.
So
He didn't
basically,
continue it like this ACA stuff. So why is that, Leo?
So what you're saying is you can't name anything Biden did to hurt you, but I can name
I
stuff
just
that
told
Trump did to
you.
hurt you.
Well, he mandated the Dr. Fauci ouchie. That was under the Biden administration. Dr. Fauci ouchie mandates.
Did you
And I
take the
missed,
shot?
no, I did not.
So it didn't
But
hurt you.
I missed out
So it
on a
didn't
lot of
hurt you.
opportunities for not taking a shot. That's my point.
You missed out on opportunities.
Because I was not vaccinated, yes. Like a lot of people.
Okay, that's fair. You named one. You had to search, but you came up with something that he did to hurt you. That was a good find. Good job. I'm proud of you. However, I think that Trump's policies have hurt people far worse, including you. And I don't see them getting any better. All he's doing is robbing people. He's stealing from the rich, he's stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. They call it reverse Robin Hood. He's literally putting policies in place to hurt people. Unless you're ultra rich. I can't, my business is not going to get any better based on the stuff he's doing. My business doesn't make enough money. A lot of black people that make enough money. I'm not one of them. I'm trying to get there. I'm working on it. Right now, it's not helping me. And at the cost of all of the people that would hurt, I wouldn't even want it. But that makes me a bad business person. Because the good business people, like Elon Musk, will become trillionaires while everybody else is going broke because they're focusing on their business and don't care about anybody else. Like Donald Trump, who's redoing the East Wing and like Donald Trump syndrome. Like, look what he's throwing in our faces. Our prices are going up. As housing is unaffordable, he's remodeling the White House. As prices are growing up in the grocery stores, he's becoming he's made himself triple what he was worth when he went in office based off of crypto scams that he's doing. By the way, I say scam, even Bitcoin is crashing. Like, he's not doing anything to help anybody who's not worth a certain amount. And all of us are not worth that amount, unfortunately. Reaganomics didn't work the first time, yet he's trying it again. Holy smoke. Right. That's it in a nutshell. The trumped up Reaganomics or trickle down economics is masterfully woeful. Masterfully woeful. This is somebody that likes to. I like to read when I just like reading. Basically, he's saying we'll make the people rich and they'll spend more money and they'll pay people better so they have better living wages. And so let's give the rich people more money. And if that actually worked, we wouldn't have billionaires, let alone trillionaires. A trillionaire on the way. They got trickle down economics led from people being millionaires to like there being like 10 billionaires on the planet to being hundreds of billionaires on the planet because of consolidated wealth. And these are the types of tax programs that Trump is pushing. That is why he is hurting the poor and working class and enabling, well, corporate welfare to the wealthy. I could keep going on all of the policies that make me not like Trump because I don't dislike Trump as a person. Well, I do dislike Trump as a person, but that's not what affects me directly. That's not what affects my family directly. What affects us is his policies. But at least he closed the borders. And, you know, that did a lot for me. I don't know what. Oh, shit, it didn't do anything for me.
And a boy is a boy, and as a girl is a girl. For example, you've had two girls. Do you want your two girls to be boys one day, Leo?
What I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
That's a Trump policy. Because if Charles Trump wasn't there, your little girls may come to go to school one day and come back home a boy one day, and there's nothing you can do about it. But under President Trump, and look at the man, baby, Department of Education, that's not happening anymore. No gender affirming care for those young people. Bing.
Yeah. Okay. That's something we can agree on. Because look at no
That's all we
no
got
no
for
no.
tonight, folks.
But
That's all.
you didn't explain that thoroughly. But let's walk through that right quick because that was a really good point. So let's walk through
I'm
that right
telling you.
quick. No, that was really good. So in states like California, your child can go to school and start getting hormone modifying shots that actually physically, genetically, or change them at the genetic level where hormones where a boy can start growing breasts and a girl can, like, they can literally change, and the parents not, and the school cannot tell the parents. So the child can make a decision like this at like 14, 15,
7,
and the parents not at what age?
7, 6.
Really?
Up to you to do your research. Maybe I'm being hyperbolic to scare, but no. Long story short, that's why Drag Queen Story Hour is important to make sure they get them in pre-K, kindergarten, first grade with that kind of what they call indoctrination or grooming, if you think about it. But the school nurses, the social workers, and the principals cannot deny access to these things. That's why
And
sex
they can't tell the
education is government.
parents. And they
It's
can't
a
tell them.
safe
It's
space,
crazy.
Leo. Safe space.
No, I'm agreeing with you. We are in agreement. We're in agreement. You wanted something we can agree on. You found it. That is insane. So even though these rules are made at the state level, does the federal decision, the executive order, prevent the states from doing that? I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, the federal order, remember, he's defunding these programs and he's making it illegal to do these things federally. Linda McMahon is not funding certain collegiate and certain institutions academically that have these policies in place. So they're defunding these things. That's why dismantling the Department of Education is very important when it comes to terms of putting it more so into the states. But right now, she has control of the purse federally. Unless
That
they
is
take on
not
some of these
exactly how this
policies,
is playing out. I don't. I know you don't understand the Board of Education, and we're not going to dive
the
into this
Department of
episode.
Education and boards of education are two separate things.
We're not going to dive into this episode because our time is just about run out. We can have an episode about this later in the week. We'll talk about it like Wednesday. Right now, everybody, thanks for coming. We're gonna get ready to get out of here. Time is ticking. It's 10:38. Thank everybody for coming. Uh, Dion, any closing statements?
We are the media, and now so are you. And hopefully, you will pay attention.